Alright, Math 1, Practice 6.1.2, working with parallel and perpendicular lines. So what we want to do here is create a slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b, equation to a line that passes through a point, but is also parallel to this equation, okay? Okay, so first step we need to do is turn this into slope-intercept form. So I'd subtract a 4x from both sides, giving us 2y equals negative 4x plus 10. And we divide everything by 2, and we get y equals negative 2x plus 5. Okay, since it's a parallel line, parallel lines have the same slope, so my equation is going to have that slope. Now, we could try to use this, and I've done that on other videos, but there's another equation we can use. It's called the point slope equation, where it's giving you a point and a slope to fill in. So I'll want to use that one. So my point, my 3 would be x, so I'd put it in here for x1. My 1 would be y right here, and then my slope would go right here. So I get y minus 1 equals negative 2x minus 3. Then I solve this, and that'll put it in slope-intercept form, and that's my answer. So I times by negative 2, so y minus 1 equals negative 2x plus 6. I add 1 to both sides, and I get y equals negative 2x plus 7. And that's my answer. Okay? And that's all we need to do. Okay? So let's do the other one. Same concept. First we subtract 12x, giving us 9y equals, actually let's do that down here. 9y equals negative 12x plus 3. Divide by 9. That gives us y. We can simplify that fraction to be negative 4 over 3x plus 1 over 3. I need that slope. I need my x and my y. And then I go y minus my y value, 6, equals my slope, negative 4/3 times x minus my x value. That becomes plus. Multiply, we get negative 4/3 x. Then negative 4/3 times 5 would give us negative 20/3. So minus 20/3 equals y minus 6. We add 6 to both sides. So I get y equals negative 4/3 x. Now, 20 over 3, we have negative 20 over 3 plus 6. Well, I want to say 6 would be what over 3? And it ends up being 18, because 18 divided by 3 is 6. So negative 20 plus 18 would be a negative 2, so we'd get minus 2/3, and that would be our line parallel. And that's a 3. Okay? Now, when we're dealing with 3 and 4, it's the same idea, but this time it wants a perpendicular line. Perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals, but I'm going to start it out the same. So I subtract an 8x from both sides, so I get 2y equals negative 8x plus 14. Divide by 2. Get y equals negative 4x plus 7. So now the slope here would be negative 4 over 1. To get the opposite reciprocal, I swap the numbers. 1 over 4, negative becomes positive. So then I go y minus negative 3 equals my slope, 1/4, because it's perpendicular, so I use my different slope, times x minus negative 4. It's really plus, that's really plus. That's 1/4 x. 1/4 times 4 is actually just 1. We get y plus 1 equals 1/4 x plus 1. Subtract 3. We get y equals 1/4 x minus 2. And that's our answer. Okay? And that's all we have to do. Alright, so we do the same thing. Subtract a 2x. We get negative 2y equals negative 2x plus 10. Divide by negative 2. And we get y equals positive 1x minus 5. Slope of 1, it's like 1 over 1. Swap them, 1 over 1, positive, make it negative, so it would become negative 1. So then we go y minus 5 equals our slope, negative 1 times x minus negative 6. That's like plus. We get negative 1x minus 6 equals equals y minus 5, add 5. And we get y equals negative 1x minus 1, which we could go y equals negative x minus 1. Either one of those two. And there we go, guys. So, you know, if you know how to follow the steps, it doesn't take too long to figure that out. Okay, now 5, it says calculate the shortest distance from the given point to the line indicated. Okay, so essentially what that means is, if we think of this graphically, let me change this to slope-intercept form. Negative y equals negative x minus 1, divide by negative. We get y equals x plus 1. So, be point right there, point right there, point right there. Okay, and so we get this line right here. The point is 2, 1, so the point would be right there. So essentially they want to know, the shortest line is always going to be a perpendicular line. So we need to find a line perpendicular to our line that goes through this point, and then we calculate the distance between those 2 points. Okay? So, slope of 1 be 1 over 1, we swap it. 1 over 1, we make it negative, so our slope is negative 1. Okay? So then I go y minus 1 equals negative 1 times x minus 2. Y minus 1 equals negative x plus 2. Add 1. We get y equals negative x plus 3. Okay? So, that's this line. So now we find out where they intersect right there. Okay? Which would be 1, 2. So then, what I do is I make that triangle because I like to use a Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going down 1 to the right 1. Okay, so negative 1 squared plus 1 squared would equal c squared, because that's c. So 1 squared is 1, negative 1 squared is 1. Add them together, we get 2 equals c squared, take the square root, and we get the square root of 2, which is like 1.7. So that's our distance. Okay? Alright. I believe we're supposed to use a picture. There we go. Okay, for questions 6 to 10, let's use this map. So 6 says Main Street is given by this equation. Okay, so Main Street is y equals negative 3/4 x minus 2. The train station is located at 8.1, so train station. What is the equation of the line that represents the train tracks that run parallel to Main Street through this point? So we've got a line running like that. We want to know the equation. Okay? So we're essentially, you know, there's 2 ways we could do this. Probably the easiest way would be to just graph it. We could do it what we did here, and by all means do it that way, but I'm going to show you a different way you could do it since we have the graph. We know our slope's negative 3 over 4, so I could go down 3 to the right 4. Okay, or that opposite direction, up 3 to the right, to the left 4. Up 3 to the left. See, now I have my y-intercept of 7. So I know it's going to be y, I'll do it over here. Y equals the same slope, and then my y-intercept of 7, because that's where I cross the y-axis. Okay? And that's all I need to do. Now, could I have done it the other way and said y minus 1 equals negative 3/4 times x minus 8. Got negative 3/4 x plus negative times negative is positive. 3 times 8 is 24, divided by 4 is 6, equals y minus 1. And added 1 and got the same thing. Yeah, I could have done it that way. But I like using the graph for these ones. Okay. Desiree's house is located at point negative 8, 6. Right there. Her driveway is perpendicular to Union Street, which is represented by this equation. So Union Street. So it was y equals 1/5 x plus 6. Okay, hers is perpendicular to that. So what's the equation? I'll say my dip. Okay, we can do it graphically or not. So our slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal of that. So we get 5 over 1. That's positive, so we make it negative, so negative 5. So we've got y equals negative 5x. Then I use that slope to figure out where we hit the y-intercept. So I go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. I'm running out of space, aren't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Okay, this probably won't work, though I could do it. So here we're going to want to do the y minus 6. Actually, we'll do it over here. Y minus 6 equals negative 5 times x minus negative 8. That's plus negative 5x, negative 40, y minus 6, add 6, and we get y equals negative 5x minus 34. Oops. So there's our equation. Y equals negative 5x minus 34. Alright, so 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're still dealing with the same picture. So Little River runs parallel to Union Street. Okay. There is a bridge located at the point negative 5, 9. What is the equation of the line that represents Little River? So Little River is going to go right through there. So Union Street we know is 1/5 x plus 6. Okay. So the same slope would be 1 up to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be y equals 1/5 x plus 10. It's going to give us that same equation for the parallel line. So the center of the park is located at point 3, 2. A walking trail starts at the point, runs perpendicular to Main Street. What is the equation? So Main Street we said was negative 3/4 x minus 2. Okay. The park runs perpendicular to that, right? Okay. What's the equation that represents this trail? Okay, well, opposite reciprocal of negative 3/4 would be positive 4/3. So we'd go up 4 to the right 3 for our next point, or down 4 to the left 3. So it would have the same y-intercept of negative 2, so it would be y equals 3/4 x minus 2. Or 4/3, sorry. Okay, now what is the shortest distance from the train station to Union Street? Okay, so the train station to Union Street. So we need to figure out where it's perpendicular to what point, and then go from there. So Union Street was y equals 1/5 x plus 6. So our perpendicular slope would be negative 5/1, or just negative 5x. So we go down 5 to the right 1, or up 5. To the left 1, up 5. Oh, see, this one's going to be more troublesome, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left 1. So it's going to cross. The point isn't going to be the easiest, is it? So what we'll need to do is set them equal to each other, which means I need the whole equation. So we'd go y minus 1 equals negative 5 times x minus 8. So we get y minus 1 equals negative 5x plus 40. Add 1. We get y equals negative 5x plus 40. Okay? That's the equation. So we've got this equation and this equation. We want to see where they're equal. So what we do is we set them equal. They're both equal to y. So I'd go 1/5 x plus 6 equals negative 5x plus 40. Okay, and then solve. Subtract 6. 1/5 x equals negative 5x plus 34. Add 5x. So we get 5 1/5 x equals 34. Change this, that's 26/5. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 1. equals 34 times both sides by 5. That would be 170. So 26x would equal 170, divide by 26. And that's where we're going to see what our x value is. So if I go 170 divided by 26, we get about 6.538. So we'll say 6.54 is my x value. So where they intersect. We know this one's 8,1. And now this one is going to be 6.54. And then to find the y value, we just use this original equation and go -5 times that. And then we're going to add 40. And so we get about 7.31 for our y value. So then this is where we'd want to use the Pythagorean theorem, isn't it? Or not the Pythagorean theorem, the distance formula. Okay, so to do the distance formula, it would be the distance here would be the square root of our y value, 7.31, minus 1 squared, plus our x value, 6.54, minus 8 squared. Okay, so 7.31 minus 1 obviously is going to be 6.31 squared. Okay, 6.54 minus 8 gives us a negative 1.46 squared. So that gives us 2.1316 plus 6.31 squared is 39.8161. Okay, we add those together. We get the square root of 41.9477, which we use a calculator, and that gives us a distance. So this distance here is about 6.48, so about 6.5. And there we go, guys. 6.48.